In today's episode, we are going to talk all about energy. You give life to what gives you energy, so I think this is key in finding your joy and also knowing how to use that energy to do what you are meant to do. I'm super excited about today's episode, and let's get started. Welcome back to My Mother's Daughter podcast, where we choose to focus on the controllables, jump off the hamster wheel of grief, and take steps to honoring our loved ones by living a life filled with gratitude, joy, and abundance. It's time to get stubborn about what we want and choose to lean into who we were meant to be, while drinking too much caffeine, owning way more workout pants than we'd like to admit, and dreading that nightly dinner talk almost as much as waking up early. You feel me, sister? I'm Angel McElhaney, motherless daughter, positive psychology junkie, and not so master juggler of my crazy crew, and I believe that you can heal and find happiness after loss. So grab that coffee, put down that to-do list, and let's get to work. One day at a time, together. Let's get started with today's show. So I'd like you to stop and think about where your energy is right now. So how is your energy around your house? Is it cluttery? Is it a place where you can relax? How is your energy at work? Are you super stressed? Do you have deadlines? Are people or personalities coming at you and making you in a defensive way? Energy is all around us, and really, if we can understand the energies, then we can kind of know how to react. I think this is a really great tool for us, especially in knowing what we can control, because we are all about focusing on the controllables, what exactly can we control and how to do it. And that's in today's episode, where we will talk about the 7 levels of energy and also a plan so that you can react and get that highest level of energy that you can muster. So we've already kind of discussed the idea that if you are in something that is your passion or something that you are made to do, you actually won't be using up as much of those energy stores as you would think. You will actually start realizing that you kind of are in this flow state and that you can end up really kind of working through the night, or time doesn't really seem to have that same measure as if it's something going against what you're meant to do. So that's something to definitely take in effect or into your brain, I guess, to think about as we think about energy. And then also the fact that you can control it. So if you are finding that you are moving to one of those lower energies, it is a good indicator that you can stop and do a couple things to redirect your energy. I'll give you a couple tips on those, and then I would love to hear what it is that you are doing to get your energy back in check. I know that you can use the information we provided in the Enneagram episode and also that love language episode. So if you're someone who has words, you can use those words, or I know a lot of times I will go onto Pinterest and I'll get a lot of quotes of really positive things, and I will scroll through those just to kind of get my energy back up. I know that listening to good quality self-help books or good words into my Audible headset, like getting those words in helps me a ton. And then also those energy around people. So me knowing that I get my energy up by doing physical activity, also by getting around groups of people. Whereas if you were a 5 like my husband on the Enneagram, you might find that depleting. So definitely knowing what Enneagram you are in that self-discovery piece, also your love language. If you haven't figured those out, go back and listen to those episodes, because that'll be some good information as you're thinking about this also. Okay, so I would like you to think about like the old school pyramids that they had for the nutrition, which we learn now is totally wrong. But anyway, picture that kind of upside down. And so we're going to start off with that lowest energy and then move up to the higher energies. So that bottom one is really going to be someone with a victim energy. So lack of choice, the world is happening to them, they have no control, really just that victim. So if that is you, a way to pull yourself out of that is to start thinking about everything you have. So a gratitude journal or writing down different things that you're grateful for. is really helpful. And then also don't get around those toxic vampire people that just suck out all the good energy, because one, right now you don't have very much good, but then misery loves company. So they might be dragging you down. So maybe your energy was higher and they're pulling you down. And then also what I have found is that if you are around people with a higher energy, they're not going to entertain that victim mentality. They're either going to give you a solution or they're going to ignore it. And so it's not going to be fed as readily. And there is that quote, I know I'm going to mess it up, but it's kind of like two wolves in the woods. Which one grows up bigger, and it really is the one you feed, or something like that. Someone tell me what the real quote is. Over on Instagram, you can find me at angel.mclhaney, because I know it's a really good one, but can't think of it right offhand. But basically the idea is that whatever you feed into is what is going to grow, and that is going to be stronger. So just make sure you don't feed this energy and that you just nip it in the bud really quick. All right, the second energy is a energy around conflict or anger. So it's very much a mentality that you lose. And it's very clear that either there is a clear winner and a loser. So we can't both win. So in that regard, it's like you have to lose. I hate to say it, but this kind of reminds me of like if you have to call about a bill or someone charged you, it's kind of like you think they're out to get you automatically, and there's this conflict around it. And I don't know about you, but if I have to call like the cable company or something like that, like my energy is jacked. The whole waiting on hold, and then maybe you can't get off the phone, like they're trying to do a sales pitch or to get you, I don't know, redoing the routers. It's very frustrating. And so a lot of people can move down into this conflict energy with that. So it's definitely a you lose. And in that regard, it's not going to be something that's productive, because there's always going to be a conflict. So definitely if you are feeling this energy, I would say, in knowing that not everything is black and white like that. And so probably affirming that in your head, and then also probably putting yourself in those kind of situations a little less. That would probably be my recommendation. All right, on to number 3. So number 3 is going to be this energy of rationalization. So it's definitely going to be one of I win, but here's why I'm winning, okay? So it's going to be giving reasons for their thinking to a high degree. It's definitely going to be a more productive energy. And so a lot of people might be at this whenever they're not really outwardly serving others, and they kind of have that peace of mind that they're rationalizing what they're doing and really giving themselves an excuse, I think. All right, this next energy, number 4, is actually going to be one of very caring and compassionate. It's going to be one of you win and I win. So it's not going to be that it's so black and white that there's a clear winner and loser. It's not going to be that, okay, you win and it's all about you, but it's going to be a mutual that both people can win. I find that this is a good energy to have, because what happens is you probably are of service and giving, and the energy is good to the other person, and then also you can win too. And so that is something that is getting higher on that level and really going to put that person in a place of peace. And so it is a energy that is very good for that, in that it's going to be of service but also still be about you. All right, this next energy is going to be level 6, and this is going to be one where we're always winning. So it's going to help you to realize that things are happening for a reason, and that anything that happens, you're not going to respond in a negative way, because you're going to think that it's just meant to be. This energy is also called synthesis energy, and this I feel like is the sweet spot, at least for me. It's seeing that no matter the circumstance, we all are always winning. I'd like to think about if you were at the airport. If you think about the flight got canceled, how these different energies would react. This would be a person that, say they get their flight canceled, and instead of going to the desk and screaming like the conflict energy, or some of these other ones that would have a lot of conflict, they would end up going to the desk calmly, just going to the next flight, sitting down, realizing that it's a chance to check their email, or perhaps to work on their next task, or maybe have that break that they needed before they got to wherever they were going. It's definitely seeing that there is a reason that this happened, and I think a great way to where you can make sure that you're reacting in a positive way. And also, it's not making you react really in anger. So definitely a spot I would like to be at. So that takes us to level 7. Level 7 to me seems like, and there's going to be positives and drawbacks to each one of these, but level 7 is going to be the peak, and that is going to be all about that energy that is passion. It's going to be passions for all of life and oneness, and that, a bit hokey to me, to be honest. So it's going to be very objective, that winning and losing are just illusions, and this level of energy is going to be definitely one with non-judgment. So to go back through all of these quickly for you, you can think of the first one as being a core feeling of apathy, and the second one as anger and conflict. Number 3 would be of responsibility. Someone is definitely to be blamed for why you're feeling this way. And then number 4 is going to be a core feeling of a lot of sympathy towards the other people, tenderness and warmth, thinking about what they're going through. And then 5 is going to be all about harmony. So yin and yang. Then level 6 is of absolute, complete, and utter joy. It's going to be someone that's going to have the idea of everyone winning, that we always win no matter what, if you can just reset your mindset to this. And then that last one was just all about being non-judgmental and around the philosophy that winning and losing are just illusions. If you would like to know more about this, I definitely recommend you checking out the book Energy Leadership by Bruce Schneider. He covers each of these, and he really does show you how to tune into and discover which of these levels you're operating at so that you can address it, and really goes into the subconscious mind and how to make sound decisions. And in the end, it really does come down to self-awareness. So just knowing where your energy is at and where you want it to be, and then making sure that you try to step back, engage, and think about your reactions so that you can keep your energy good and high. So if you're in a place of low energy right now, I'd like you to do a couple steps so that you can kind of gauge or redirect what you need to do, your action steps to get you to a better place. The first one is to really separate fact from fiction in the way that you're perceiving the world. It really is stopping that negative thought right where it begins and thinking, is this actually true? So is this something that you are implying based on something else, or that you're filling in the gaps, or that you're just maybe didn't eat enough or didn't get enough sleep or something like that that's making it elevate that response for you. And then another thing is for you to change what you're focusing on. So what you focus on tends to amplify. And so if you can find the positive in others, then that will help you too. And also in that regard, if you are around negative people, make sure that you are not feeding into that, because that will kind of make you more negative. And so if someone's being negative around you, I think it's totally okay to just leave the situation, or to just don't feed into that. So just kind of move into, those kind of people don't want to be around positive people. So that could be a good strategy for you to move the conversation to something more pleasant. And then the next one is, are you taking good care of yourself? Are you getting your exercise in so that you can feel less stressed? Are you getting good sleep? Are you eating healthfully? Or are you maybe making yourself stressed out by the factors in your environment? So these are definitely key indicators that you need to make little changes so that it can help your energy level rise. Another thing that can be helpful is if you can give thanks. So gratitude is very huge, figuring out what is going right, as we mentioned, and then also giving thanks. So writing thank you notes, telling someone face to face that you appreciate what they're doing, or even also smiling. So laughter can help to redirect your mood and your level of energy. So maybe go to a comedy club, maybe put the phones away and actually talk to your family, do storytelling and tell jokes and that sort of thing. Affirmations in the morning can be helpful too. And like I mentioned, I'll scroll through positive quotes, and that always helps me to kind of get in a better space. And so far we've given you a lot of things to do, but one thing that I think that is another thing to not to do is to complain. So start thinking as a problem solver, and if you don't like something, figure out what you want and then tangible action steps to get there, and then stop blaming other people. And also stop comparing yourself to others too. So those are just a couple things of what you need to stop, and so I hope that those find helpful too. definitely you need to think less about yourself and more of others so you can get into those higher energies. And so that could definitely be with volunteering, helping someone in an area where you're talented, basically reaching out to someone and letting them know that you're there to help. All in all, these levels of energy are connected to your peace, to your joy, to your compassion, to all of these centers that are super vital for your well-being. And if you want to be a happy individual, it's definitely important for you to tap into those. And so don't let people steal your joy, steal that peace, steal your compassion that you have towards others, and really get a little less selfish. And if this is sounding really hard, maybe you have a short fuse or things just keep getting in your way of happiness or that higher level of energy, I just want to remind you that you are capable, you are strong, and you can do the hard stuff. You are your mother's daughter, and you've got this. Wishing you joy and abundance, Angel. Hey mama, before you go, if you found value in today's show or you learned something new, find me over in iTunes and leave me a review. I really appreciate the feedback, and I love to hear what you're taking from the show. Also, find me on Instagram. My handle over there is angel.mcilhaney. See you over there.